Well, the level of discourse in America definitely is on a downward trajectory like this. But hey, at least we have AI meme slop. Am I right? As of course, the discourse just got that much more nastier and down low, especially with the latest big public fight that's happening between Ben Shapiro and Megyn Kelly, as it looks like the efforts to take out Tucker Carlson did not work, as a lot of people are panicking at him being at the White House at this particular moment in time. I wonder why, as Donald Trump is said to announce in a few hours from now a major decision on what the U.S. government will be doing regarding Iran. As Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson were talking about some very interesting things that we're going to be talking about in this particular video. Now, the conversation is going both ways, but it definitely does seem like there's a concerted effort now that failed with Tucker Carlson that now is going after Megyn Kelly. And then after that, it's going to be another attempt to attack anyone who doesn't fall in line with the orthodoxies, as Candace Owens has come out and says that if anything, quote, happens to Tucker Carlson, a foreign government is involved. What foreign government are we talking about? As of course, there's a lot of wild stuff happening right now that I believe deserves a true and honest conversation. If you agree, subscribe. We're doing really great on this brand new YouTube channel, and we can't thank all of you amazing new people who have subscribed to this channel. Now, let's just get into it, as of course the war of words has begun, as Ben Shapiro surprisingly attacked Megyn Kelly during his TP USA speech. We were there. You could actually watch a video on this channel with our live reaction from it, and almost everything we said has pretty much come true, as our assessment and analysis on it, I think if you look back on that video, all the way back since last year, was right on point. As Megyn Kelly had this to say on the Tucker Carlson show, directly responding in a more pointed way against Ben Shapiro.
I was called a coward by Ben Shapiro.
Megyn said, quote, "My goal and my job here is to try to understand where Candace is coming from on this. That is a moral and logical absurdity."
The last text I have from Ben Shapiro said, "Our friendship is too important to both of us to make it depend on whom else we are friends with." The next.
That's a nice text message. Like, okay, yeah. And I recently had a meeting over the weekend with another influencer, and we kind of talked about this. Like, yeah, man, let's just be friends. Like, it's cool. Like, it's fine. And there's so much drama now. It's just wild. It's just crazy. And I play a part in it myself, and I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm all hyped. No, there's some things that perturb me, especially when it comes to, you know, the Epstein client list. That I think rightfully so, but other people start drama over other things that are a little bit more ridiculous in my personal opinion. But anyway, Megyn Kelly goes on.
Next thing I knew, he was standing on the stage at Turning Point calling me a coward for this very thing. So I am convinced now more than ever that there is a crew for whom everything revolves around Israel. The only thing that matters is whether you are standing up for Israel or not. You also must...
That's true. That's the dividing line, right? And some people on the far right have taken too far. But most importantly, it's important to note here that this type of civil war, civil strife conflict is trying to stifle any type of legitimate conversation on the issue. And when we try to actually debate it and talk about the actual merits of it, automatically you're labeled far right when you're not. That's also another kind of gross overreaction here that has been happening that is kind of very suspicious, especially since there's an ongoing influencer campaign buying people off to be more in line with approved talking points of the specific lobby that's giving out a bunch of money to carry favors and water for that one Middle Eastern country, of course. So, again, convoluted situation.
Defriend anyone who is raising questions about Israel. I'd rather...
Now, again, there's a difference between raising questions and blaming all the Jays on everything, and we don't do that here. I think it's ridiculous to blame an entire population of people on the actions of their government, but we have been very critical of the government, and people who have been very critical of the government have been accused of, you just hate it. No, we don't. That's not the case here, and you're destroying the conversation from actually taking place that should be a legitimate one.
Dive and do that, because I'm not raising the fist and saying BLM at the table, and I'm not bending the knee to these bullies who think they can control me.
Yep, and there was a lot of bullying, and Tucker Carlson even talked about how Charlie Kirk was being bullied, how he was being described as someone who hated all the Jays, when in reality he was doing a lot of things that were helping them out tremendously. And that's how far the discourse has been kind of destroyed here in this country, where it's like, okay, you're trying to have a legitimate conversation, and automatically the waters are muddied, accusations are thrown, people are told to be censored and debanked and defriended by everyone. As of course, I've been in an industry for a while, and there's phone calls literally going around, be like, oh, this person expressed an opinion that I don't like. You better stop having them on the show. I'm like, what? Get out of here. Like, this is insane here. Now, the conversation with Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson was interesting. It happened a couple days ago. I definitely recommend watching it because it definitely provides a different kind of voice and perspective on Venezuela, on what's happening with this kind of civil strife conflict between the right, the populist right, and the neocon establishment right. And again, people have a lot of different kind of opinions here. Now, people are going back against Megyn Kelly, saying Ben Shapiro's not obsessed with just his country of allegiance, and he does talk about other stuff, and that's true here. But it's pretty clear the guy has a side, he has an issue, and he has rifted and destroyed a lot of his personal friendships and relationships over this one particular issue, because someone there say, maybe we shouldn't be conducting our foreign policy on the behest of just a foreign government, right? And it's like, cut you off right now. Oh, you hosted someone that I don't like? I'm not going to come on your podcast anymore. And that happened. It happened with PBD, with Ben Shapiro specifically. Now, Tucker Carlson brought up a very interesting point about Charlie Kirk, and this is why I think people are freaking out against Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson now. Before playing that clip and getting into more of the kind of like drama, crazy, insane details happening behind the scenes here, we first wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. We got a lot of great, incredible supplements, and I think one of the best ones that I've started taking that I noticed the most amazing response to is our vitamin D. We make sure that, again, you got to make sure, lots of vitamin Ds out there suck. They don't have K2, which actually hurts you. You need K2 with that vitamin D. You also need to take it with healthy fats. We added our capsules with extra virgin olive oil because a lot of other people have a lot of other fillers and crap in there. Ours is olive oil, which is good. You need fat to take with vitamin D. That's why I recommend taking your vitamin D with your breakfast. If your breakfast doesn't have any fat in it, take an extra shot. You could always never have enough fat when it comes to activating vitamin D. Vitamin D is absolutely critically important. Dr. Rhonda Patrick came out and says vitamin D deficiency is tied to both higher dementia risk and faster structural brain aging. Lots of people have very low vitamin D. Get your blood test. Ask your doctor, what's my vitamin D levels? Most people who were very negatively affected by the COOF and had a very severe go at it predominantly had very low vitamin D. And science and the data specifically shows that, hey, the people with higher vitamin D levels didn't have that much of a worse time with it than, generally speaking, the people with lower vitamin D levels. Now, again, check your vitamin D levels. One thing that I was shocked and surprised about, specifically when it came to vitamin D, is the effect that it had on my sleep. I've been working on trying to improve my sleep. I've been working on trying to make sure I have the best sleep ever. Today, look at that. Yesterday, 98. Today, 96. Why? I like to cycle my vitamins. So for 2 weeks, I didn't take the vitamin D. And my sleep score started to go down dramatically. Not dramatically, excuse me, but like a few points. And then it was in the 80s last week. And I'm like, okay, let me do another experiment. This is how I just do it myself, right? And I was like, okay, let me start taking vitamin D again. And I did. And again, 98 yesterday, 95 today. As there are some fascinating studies of vitamin D when it comes to your teeth health, your immune health, your brain health, your ability to fight off different sicknesses and illnesses out there. And it's really amazing to see the huge, amazing positive results that I had, that I want you to have. And again, do your own research. Your body is your temple. Make sure you're treating it right. wearechange.shop. Check it out. Support yourself. We only have 78 of these bottles in stock here. Get it while supplies last. Now, let's get back into this topic here, because one of the things that Tucker Carlson brought up was the fact that Charlie Kirk went to the White House to literally urge President Donald Trump not to strike Iran. Charlie Kirk was also urging President Trump to release the Epstein files. Now, some of the things he was doing, I disagree with him, but behind the scenes, he was one of the most positive, most important voices of our time. He's gone. Tucker Carlson even previously talked about how donors were tormenting him because he was allowing Tucker Carlson to speak. And this is really the kind of treachery of the neocon establishment, right? It's backstabbing, no allegiances. It's like, yeah, I'll be your friend no matter what. Whoever you're friends with, I'll still be your friend. And then backstabbing them at the biggest right-wing political event, at Charlie Kirk's event, and attacking Megyn Kelly. That's dastardly behavior. Relaunching Candace Owens' podcast as theirs on the Daily Wire just to make fun of her and just to attack her. That's low-level type of behavior, right? Trying to excommunicate, trying to get rid of people from being on the other people's show, which the establishment neocon right does all the time. Trying to control speech and debate and muddying the waters and just hyperventilating and overreacting all the time, saying, how dare you? Legitimately bring up a concern that the vast majority of the American people have, that you're now trying to intimidate by force and pressure to stop talking about or sharing. So this was another incident that I think was very important for the general public to understand.
He was one of the only people, I mean, truly one of the only
This is Tucker talking about Charlie Kirk.
people to go to the president whom he loved. He loved Donald Trump, like personally as well. And I think the president really loved him in a real way. But he was one of the only people to go to the Oval Office and say, sir, I totally understand and think Iran's really bad, but a war with Iran is not, is something that could really hurt our country. I mean, boy, that was an unpopular position. He didn't need to express it. Oh, of course. And he did it again. He didn't have some weird agenda. He wasn't mad at anybody. He was for his country and he was for doing the right and wise and difficult thing. And he said that. He went to the Oval Office to say that. He took massive abuse from his own donors, which is also something that you don't see people. And he loved his donors.
Yeah. Why? Because he wasn't in line with policies that didn't favor the American people. The big donor class was. The big donor class was like, I don't care if this helps out the American people. It helps me. And I got the money. And I carry influence. And I get done what I want done. And Charlie was like, no, well, we need to do things for the people that voted us in, that are our constituents. And that fight, still ongoing, still very serious. And this is why, in my opinion, there was such a huge overreaction to people saying, Tucker's at the White House. Oh! And we saw people on the far right, far neocon right, freak out. They were like, how dare he? This is a disgrace, says Joseph Gelman. He hates all. No, he doesn't. He's spoken out against all the people who just hate people because of their government or their race or their religion. And it's a ridiculous point of view and a ridiculous notion to hate people on just generalizations. And Tucker Carlson has spoken out against that. And to conflate that, that's him. It's a total mischaracterization. It's slander. It's libel. It's defamation. And it's absolutely crazy to see the freak out that has happened with this. And again, all the efforts to cancel Tucker didn't work. So now you got to cancel his friends and his associates. You did his show. How dare you do Tucker Carlson show? How dare you not fall in line? How dare you not play ball with the people we want you to play ball with? How dare you play ball with that Tucker Carlson kid? Don't play ball with Tucker Carlson. I want to go play ball with Tucker Carlson now.
Donors, it wasn't a hostile thing, but they had a different view. A lot of them, not all, but a lot. And they expressed it to him in a very intense way. I know because he showed me. And he said, look, I understand your perspective. This is my perspective, and we're going to do what we think is the right thing, the wise thing.
In that way, too, he was the voice of young people. I mean, there are no young people in the country anymore supporting this war and wanting Israel to continue its bombing campaign.
Yeah, if you look at young people, overwhelmingly, especially when it comes to polls and studies and just the chatter and conversations that are happening online, no matter how fake a lot of it is. But I think it's pretty clear to say a lot of young people are coming up and saying, yeah, I want my money to be spent on me and my people in my country. I don't want it given away to foreign government. I don't want it delved out. I don't want it wasted away. I want me and my people to be taken care of and treated as a priority here. And that's not a wrong thing to say. But some people have conflated that with, oh, you hate all the people. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I wasn't even talking about you, right? It's not hate that drives this conversation, in my opinion. It's love. It's love for oneself, one country, one kind of group identity as Americans. That drives us, right? And I think that's the driving point here that a lot of people mischaracterize deliberately on purpose in order to destroy the debate and conversation that's really happening.
That's just the truth. Look at the polls. And he was in touch with them. And even where his own opinion may have differed from their opinion, he felt like he owed it to them to bring their message to the sitting president of the United States. I mean, it was, that's what's been snuffed out.
Well, as he has been, unfortunately, but he was one of the very few people I have met who combined a love for everyone involved with strong views. So again, he was not animated by anything creepy or weird. I mean, you knew him intimately, so you know this is true. If you talk to him off camera,
he couldn't be compromised. A lot of people are compromised. A lot of people have dirt on them. And when they do, they're being told and shown their vanilla folders. You can bet there's probably a big one on Lindsey Graham. It's like, look at what we got on you. And it's like, you're gonna vote for this policy, right? You're gonna promote this policy. You're gonna fall in line. You're gonna do what we tell you to do, right? Most people are like, yeah.
He would say, I really, I love whoever I'm talking about, but I think this is wrong. It's immoral. It's bad for everybody involved, both sides. And he would say that, and he could say that because it was sincere. It was completely sincere, but I cannot overstate the amount of attacks he took privately over this, absolutely for real. And having lived in Washington most of my life and seen people run nonprofits, I've never met one who was willing, stand up is too strong. He wasn't confrontational, but he would just say, no, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I think this is the right thing. The people we represent, which is mostly young people, they believe this, and I believe it also. It was brave, but loving at the same time. And I'm not sure he made a lot of headway, by the way. I mean, I think he made real enemies in doing that, but his view didn't change. Anyway.
Yeah. And listen, if anyone knew, it was Charlie. Charlie specifically came out and did polls. Should the U.S. get involved in Israel's war against Iran? No. Donald Trump's making some statements telling the Iranian people, hey, we're going to be there any moment. Keep fighting. He didn't say that exactly. He said something similar to it. Those are not the exact words here. But there's a reason Charlie Kirk told Tucker Carlson to, quote, go Max during his speech at the SAS, Student Action Summit, the TPUSA event in Tampa last year. I was in attendance for that. I listened to that speech and I heard it. And it was a pretty go Max type of speech here. Now, Josh Hammer's coming out and still attacking Megyn Kelly here. Why? Because they need to attack. They need to justify their positions, not by arguing their positions, but destroying the people that are making that counter arguments against their positions. As he says, Candace is an obvious lunatic, and Tucker is an anti-Western civ stooge. What? What are you talking about? The guy keeps talking about America and loving America and taking care of America. Is Megyn Kelly a lunatic? No, I don't think anything she expressed was anything close to being a lunatic, but this is the kind of disingenuous attacks. Okay, what did she say? What arguments did she make that ruffled your feathers? Break down the argument. You're not. You're just literally resorting to name calling. Josh goes on, so why did Megyn Kelly make her bed with them? And with Tucker in particular? Why is Megyn Kelly hanging out with Tucker Carlson? How dare she be on his show? How dare they have a conversation? Why are you having conversations? Stop it. You're bad now. You're a lunatic because you had a conversation. What particular about that conversation did you get so triggered by, Josh Hammer? Can you care to explain? Grandma Groiper. Oh, really? She's not a groiper. She spoke out against the groipers. And the Doha Shell. Who's the Doha Shell? I think Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids, but for Riri. Again, what do you have that's an actual legitimate criticism here? Because it's just, oh, there's someone interviewed. Oh. And Megyn Kelly had the good response here, saying, my decision to platform Tucker, if you're mad about that, too bad. Too bad. I love him. We're friends. I don't think he's hating all Jewish people at all. Now, Candace came out. I'm going to do a separate video on this because she's talking about the possibility of Tucker Carlson being taken out. And listen, hypothetically speaking, those are theories that I think we can entertain and we're going to talk about in a constructive, non-emotional type of way. So subscribe for that and a lot more. Thank you so much for supporting this independent media broadcast, getting yourself some good supplements on wearechange.shop. Cannot recommend enough. You guys do your own due diligence when it comes to your own personal health. Life is short, and it is incredibly important to take care of yourself as best as you possibly can. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/Luke Rudowski.